Do you hear that?
We sat here 5 seconds in silence, and you said, "Did you hear that?"
That is the crinkle of leaves under your young feet, my son. Can you feel that? It's a little bit of a crispness in the air. August has come and gone. Bring on the fall.
What are you, a poet? What's happening to you?
Bring on the fall, baby.
I don't
we
like
we
this
wrapped
side of
up
you.
another month.
This is weird. I don't like it.
I was trying something different. Thanks for being supportive.
Do another one.
No! Welcome back to Talking Story. Hey, my name is John Minton. That right there is my literary wingman that, doesn't like what I do anymore. the little chull of happiness, the best producer on BookTube, the guy with a stack of stuff that he read through the month of August. He is ready to go through absolutely everything, one by one, as am I. It is time to wrap up the month of August.
It is time. My name is Jacob. I will wear that last title proudly. I finally have a stack of things to talk about.
I am excited. I am excited.
Too. I see you have a stack too. My God.
I've got a little bit of a stack.
A little bit.
That we did some reading damage.
Let's get
in
into
the month
it.
of August.
I'm excited.
Yeah, let's get into it. Why? You know what? Why don't you start? Everybody, welcome. Sit back, relax, grab a beverage, because this might go on for a while. Because I think we both have a stack. Let's try and keep it. Since we both have a stack,
we'll keep it a little brief per book.
We're going to try and do our best to keep it brief, just so it's not crazy long, right?
Yeah, just so it's not an hour and a half long. We'll keep it a little brief.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, starting off.
So do I have a button? Here's what we'll do. Why don't you put a shock collar on, and if you go too long, I'll buzz you.
That's okay. I don't think we have that in the budget. There's no need for that.
Oh, man, that was a really good
idea. But I do think we have it in the budget for you, if you'd like to try one.
Well, if it's no good for you, it's no good for me.
First book that I wrapped up in the month of August was really a carryover from the last month, because I finished it on like the 4th or something like that. Demon in White by Christopher Rocchio. I'm trying to catch all the way up to Shadows Upon Time before it comes out November 15th, because we get it a couple days early at the gala. Right?
We do get it a couple days early. And
if you want to go to that gala, it's going to be
if
so
you want
much
to go
fun.
to the gala with us, emceed by Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. Austin and Richard are there. We are there. So many booktubers there that you can meet and mingle with. And you get swag bags. You get the book signed 3 days early. You get to meet Christopher on his big night wrapping up this series. We'll put the information right down there for the gala. If you're interested, we would love to see you. And I know Christopher would love to see you there.
Yeah.
As well.
I believe some tickets are still available, so check it out in the description.
Yeah.
But Demon in White. I will say Howling Dark remains my favorite.
Okay, there's a caveat there, but I'll wait.
There's a caveat there.
Yeah.
Is it? Why are you waiting? Oh, because of the next
I'm
thing?
waiting for later on in the stack.
We'll get onto that later then. But Demon in White, I will say it that's not to say that I didn't like it, because I did really like it. I think
there's some good stuff in there.
It's still good. For me, it might go like Howling Dark, Demon in White, Empire of Silence from my favorite. And that's not to say that any of them are bad. They're all great.
That's solid ranking, I think.
Demon in White to me had a lot of action in it in a way that was really amazing, big spectacle, big. Also, my favorite parts of the series are these big, like, revelatory moments of what the lore is and where we're heading towards and what these different species are and their motives and how it all connects. And so much more of that in Demon in White, and I really loved that. However, I think at the end, I had a bit of the same reaction that you did when you finished it, was like, things are going a little too well.
I mean, okay, let's clarify. Like, it's not a walk in the park for Hadrian.
No, and it's not a problem with the writing. It's just like, for my own personal taste, I want to see a little more pain, you know?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. I wanted to see that tab come due.
Yeah.
For all the, yeah.
So when that tab does come due.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Immediately after Demon in White, I picked up Kingdoms of Death, partially because I want to catch up and partially because I just had to. This is the 4th book in this series and has been told to me many times by you that this is where the tab comes due for Hadrian Marley.
And I think this is your favorite book in waiting. I think this takes the #1 spot.
I think it's my favorite book already. I think I was reading
Where are you at?
I was reading a little bit earlier tonight. I think I might be a couple chapters away from the big moment. Because there are
Where are you at?
There's some crazy thing. I'm 50% of the way through. I'm on chapter 28.
No. I'm not going to say there aren't big moments where you're at.
Is there not?
Hold on to your shorts, buddy.
Okay.
Hold on to your shorts.
It feels like something massive is about to happen where I'm at right now.
Oh, they're massive things. From here on out, prepare for the massive.
I think this is going to be my favorite, partially because that pain and tab coming due, like we were talking about, that's just my personal preference. I love the kill your darling moments. It just really brings the height of the emotionality out of the characters in a way that I've always loved. But, and I've said this before, another reason that I'm really loving this book so far is that the characters feel like they have so much more presence in this book specifically, which to me, no spoilers because I haven't gotten there yet, makes me think a lot of these people are going to die.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
As a bit of a, hey, don't you love this person? Now they're dead. That's kind of the setup that I'm feeling right now.
I don't know. Would Christopher do that to you?
Absolutely, Christopher would do that to
absolutely.
me. Of course he would. The only thing is, I think where I'm at right now, we're going to get some big lore dumps, and I'm always here for that. So really loving Kingdoms of Death.
You do love the lore dumps, yeah.
I love the lore dumps. Give me more lore dumps. And then I also picked something up that I'm going through very, very slowly on the advice of one lovely Jenny Wirtz, who gave the advice that she says when she writes, she keeps, I can't remember what she called it. She just keeps a little book on her desk, something that's very easy to pick up and put down at any time, reads through very quickly, very easily digestible. So I decided I was going to try that, and I picked up Ascendant by Michael R. Miller. Very whimsical, very easily digestible. All the adjectives that I just presented from Janny, all of that applies here. It's
comfortable.
So
it's a story
fun.
you can live in, right?
So cozy. And not to say that there aren't high stakes, because I think the stakes are about to get bumped up where I'm at right now, but
oh yeah.
It does it in a way that still doesn't take the magic of the world away. And the thing that I'm enjoying the most about it is what it's doing for me in my own writing personally. I kind of have a tendency to get in that trap of looking at the blank page and feeling like every sentence that I write has to be amazing, you know? And Michael R. Miller just doesn't write that way. And yet it works incredibly. It's doesn't feel like, oh, I'm reading dumbed down prose. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like,
no, but there's an ease to it that just sucks you in.
To it that almost lends its own flavor to the world. That type of ease.
Yes.
Which obviously Strange Eons is a very different type of world, so that's going differently in the way that I'm writing things. But it's a lesson that I needed to learn, and I needed to see somebody very talented like Michael R. Miller use it in a way that's like, oh, it can be done. It's not dumbed down prose. It's just this. Sometimes they walk down a road, and that's all you need in that sentence. That's sometimes it's that simple, and that's been helping me out tremendously. Really enjoying this story and his prose. And then on the same note, or on a similar note of helping myself out with writing, I read a load of short stories. Well, a load for me of short stories this past month.
And these are things that your mom gave you to focus on certain things
exactly
that you're working on in your writing as we're working on book 2 of Strange Eons here.
Yeah, exactly. When we first started writing book 1, I not only didn't have a job, but we weren't doing Talking Story yet. So I had quite literally nothing to do all day, every day.
And you lived with us.
And
still.
I lived with you guys. So the thing that I did every day was Mom and I sat in desks that literally we just pushed next to each other, and we had like one giant table, and we wrote next to each other for hours every day. And she would teach me how to do different things. And it was like my own little tutoring program with Mom. It was teaching me how to write in prose because I'd never done it before. And on book 2, I told her, I want to get that back. I want to get some of that imposter syndrome voice out of my brain and feel like I'm learning things again. So she said, why don't I give you, you tell me what you want to learn based on what you're writing right now, and I'll tell you what short story to read, and you can kind of examine it and take what tools you want from that, put it in your toolbox, and move on. So the first thing that I read was, do I have it here? Now I'm just trying to remember. I believe it was Sleepy by Anton Chekhov.
I think that might have been close to the first, yeah.
I think it was the first one. I don't know how to describe just how cool I find this short story.
Yeah.
It has one of my favorite things, which is like that characteristic of Russian literature where like within the last paragraph, it's just like, oh, that went very dark and now it's over. And the rest was just like, oh, this is quite nice. No, it's not. And no, it's over. Not. That's the end. Being able to switch between worlds in a way that feels so organic, but also individual to the character, and you're right there with them the entire time, and exactly what they're seeing is Anton Chekhov is such a master. That's not news to anybody, but it was
absolutely.
It was so cool to look at, and was obviously exactly what I needed in the moment. Then after that, I read Accident Brief by Karen Russell, which the problem that I was having there was super objective, which is to say, like, if you're doing a short story in that case, or in another case, a very long form arc for a character, you want to make sure that they have their super objective, and that's defined very, very early. And maybe you go along the way in their own little journey, but it always wraps up in the end, and you come back to that super objective. And this was such a really interesting way to learn that, because it follows a young boy with a kind of a broken family that he doesn't quite feel part of, and he's finding his own footing in his own individual life, and yet at the end he comes to terms with his own place within his family, not just as an individual. And the way that it kind of snaked around these different objectives was so interesting to see. Oh, is this the super objective? No. Oh, it could be this. Maybe it's this. And then by the end, oh no, I was right the first time. Now I see the arc. Yeah. And it was just so cool to see how Karen Russell kind of put that mosaic together. So I really enjoyed that one. Then after that, we went dark again and did some Flannery O'Connor with A Good Man Is Hard to Find. And similar, same thing to Sleepy, though it's not Russian literature. This is kind of a slice of life. No, it isn't.
Well, if it is, it's a dark life.
It is a dark life, and it's now over. Now it's ending. Weirdly enough, for this one, I was trying to learn slice of life, to just be able to put that tool in my toolbox and find a way to slow down, which is, I have trouble with that a lot. And man, there's no easier way to slow down than to make your main character like 80 years old.
Gotta move slower.
That really helps with
yep.
What thought process are they having? Well, they're 80, so not
whatever it is, it's slow.
Not too much. It's going to be very mundane. Yeah, Flannery O'Connor is obviously a master, and there's got so many different things I could talk about that short story with, but I won't do all of it here. The last short story that I read was Sea Oak by George Saunders, which I'm realizing now, maybe this is a thing with mom's preferences, because there are so many of these stories that are just like, oh, this is kind of fun. Wow, that took a shift.
Yeah, I think you do know your mom, right?
I think I found the common denominator. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
This follows I believe, younger man that's kind of working at a male Hooters equivalent, and I won't spoil it, but it goes a real comedic supernatural direction that it is it's so interesting of like you and Mom often talk about the trick of Game of Thrones, that like you have so many things thrown at you within the first book that by the time you get to the end, you're like, sure, dragons. Why wouldn't there be dragons? Right. Same thing with CO, because like there's so much crazy comedy happening and wild situations that by the time you get to the supernatural, you're just like, of course, what else would happen? Why would this not be the thing? And a similar thing there. I was kind of taking slice of life in a really irreverent kind of way. So
yeah, just like tonal shift there for you. A
bit of learning from the masters, all those wonderful people. But that was everything that I read in the month.
I mean, that is a really hefty list, man. And I love that it's all centered around your own creative journey and your own work and what's going on.
I think that's been the trick. The past months have been hard finding the time to read. But if you tether it to the other thing that you're trying to do as many hours of the day as possible, it kind of makes you want to do it more. So
yeah. Because I mean, pulling those tools from the masters, seeing how they use them, and then trying to apply them yourself, as clunky as it may be in the beginning, in the start, you know.
Right, yeah.
You get more and more depth the more you use it. But yeah, I love that. Yeah. Absolutely love that. What a great month, man. What an awesome month.
Great month.
Even taking short stories into account, what was your favorite read?
Oh, man.
Short stories count for you. So what was your favorite read?
It might be Sleepy by Anton Chekhov. That's one that I can't stop thinking about.
Chekhov's hard to beat, man.
Chekhov's hard to beat.
And that particular short story, going between the two realms of reality and dream, or not reality, and the way it slides between the two and how that builds the tension as it goes through, really, really amazingly done.
And it's one that's so rereadable that Mom told me, go through it with highlighters and highlight what is reality, what is between, and when is the character asleep. And I read through it like 2 or 3 different times, and there were some parts like, oh, this is interesting because just the way that the actual prose functions, it feels like Chekhov is purposefully making it so you can make an argument that this sentence is either or. And it just makes it so rereadable and fun and interesting to kind of take from and study. So I would say that one was my favorite.
Well, awesome. I got to tell you, it's such a privilege and exciting for us to be part of your journey and to watch you on it and to watch you progress on it. Very, very special.
Oh, thanks, man. It's been a good time. How many hold on. Did you calculate how many pages you read this month?
I did not. To the shock of no one.
You did not calculate.
I did not calculate. I am not good at this.
But do you know how many books you read this month?
The amazing, and I believe it's Rose Scully that does it for. Maybe she will.
Someone's
add it all
doing
up
this for you.
She does it. Yeah, it's in comments sometimes.
Oh, man.
I believe people are just too kind. You know, before we move on to me, why don't we thank some folks real quick?
Always people to thank.
Because right down there are all the places that you can find us. If this is not enough for you, Discord, we're hanging out talking about books and fun things and our writing and all kinds of weird, fun things that are happening there. And then there's all other social media places for you to explore as well right down there. But the Patreon link right down now, these are some people that do all the heavy lifting from the type of videos we'll do to keeping the lights on to taking over the channel when we spin this camera around and do something we call Town Square. All the kind of amazing things they do to keep everything running. Because I mean, let's face facts, we're really not.
No idea what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely not. Let's just face facts. So, but they are amazing. So let's take a second to thank each and every one of our correspondents, directors, and producers for really doing all the work around here.
Thanks, everybody.
Just a quick break in the action to thank all of our correspondents, directors, and producers on Patreon. These people keep the lights on. They make decisions for us because we don't know what we're doing. We're not great at making the decisions around here. the decisions all the way from what I'm going to read next, what the book club of the month Patreon pick is going to be, but all the way up to video ideas and what we're going to do here on the channel coming up for you. If you're interested or you want to find out how you can be a part of this, right down there in the description box, click the Patreon link. It's got all the answers for you. And once again, thank you to all of these fine people that are helping us build the channel, our correspondents, directors, and producers. So you ready?
I'm ready to not talk for a while.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm going to get into it. I started the month out with a buddy read because you know we love buddy reads. This is the Long Price Quartet that I am reading with Josh from Red Fury Books and Alan from the Library of Allenxandria, who is the Long Price Prophet. Now, he has been on a soapbox telling anyone that will listen and some that won't how amazing this series is. So when Josh and I decided this was our buddy read for the year, he just had to come along and be a part of it with us. And so happy he did. We just had our big discussion last night on his channel, or Monday night. Go check it out if you've read this. It's amazing. I read part 3, book 3. This is an omnibus. All 4 books of the Long Price Quartet are in this one volume. So that will tell you right there the amount of compression that Daniel Abraham is able to pull off. This is altogether smaller than something from the Stormlight Archives, but this is all 4 books. So we were up to book 3, and that is An Autumn War. Now, I don't want to go on too long because we set ourselves up to not do that, but let me just say, when I was a young boy, I would love to watch.
How are you gonna? I don't want to go on too long, but let's go back some decades in time and begin there.
Oh, many decades. I remember sitting on the couch with my grandmother and watching the old shows when, someone would come out on a variety show and they would put these plates on sticks and they'd get them going, spinning real quick, and they would get about 20 or 30 plates on sticks and none of them would fall because they could keep them all going. It was truly amazing. That's kind of what I think about with Daniel Abraham here, because he's got all these plates on sticks. Characterization that is absolutely deep and layered and meaningful, and the motivational is so tangible and real. You could put yourself in any of these characters' shoes and understand where they are, that moment of their life, why they're doing it, and you can understand and track the motivation. So it's these amazing character journeys that start with book 1 as 2 young boys, and then moves forward through their entire life. And that plate's going. The world is going, because this world that he's creating is at this crossroads of the most tumultuous time. Think about the world that we know after like World War II and how it was completely different and reordered and restructured. That's the type of situation that's going on here in this world. And is creating this magic system that is so beautiful and so tangible, so poetic, as the magic users are called poets here. So poetic, so beautiful, and tangible, what it's used for within their socioeconomic structure and how they manipulate it to put one city-state above the other, and that causes these lines to be drawn and othering to happen and things to be pushed apart and tension to build. So he's got the world, he's got the magic system, he's got this tension building, he's got the master storytelling of, oftentimes in these genres that you love, we have like it builds up to a duel or a battle or several battles. The drama happens here just when people talk to each other. The conversations crackle because these characters mean so much to you and matter so much to you. So just when they're sitting across from each other, talking about what's happening, this is like the Russian, like the biggest thing in history could be happening out there, and we focus on it through the eyes of a few people in a house in the dead of winter in the Russian countryside. Like, this is that type of thing. Is this tumultuous, earth-rending thing happening? Yes, of course it is. But it's told through these characters that you know and that you love and that you're following and that matter to you. You'd walk into traffic to find out what happens next to them. It's the drama. It's the St. Crispin's Day speech in Henry V. We don't need to see the battle. It's Richard screaming for a horse after the battle. We don't need to see the battle. It's these human moments, these egos that push the changes in this history, in this world, and these people that are behind these egos causing these rifts and things to happen in this world, not necessarily just the battles. And then when we get here, all these plates are going, all these things are, and he's so masterfully keeping them all going. And then we get to book 3 here, where it's called An Autumn War. And I was loving this series. I was trying already to figure out where it's going to go in my top series of all time, because it's that level of impressive to me. And then we hit book 3. Book 3, I think, may be on one of my favorite books of all time.
I mean, books in general.
Just books in general.
Oh my God.
It is the best story of power and magic and the price, the long price that is going to come for you if you use this power to change nature itself, if you use this power to draw these lines between you and someone else, if you use these powers to get yourself and your people a leg up in the world, what happens? What price will come for you? What toll will it take on your soul, on your society, on your ideation of how that society works, on how you see the world, on how you see those other people? There is a price to be paid on every level, and it is taken like I've never seen it. I actually had to make noise when I was reading this book. When I was reading book, there were moments in this book where I'm reading it going, like I'm making noise reading this book. It's stayed with me. It will stay with me. I've never seen somebody, just bold strokes of changing this world because of that price. And these characters that you followed for so long, it's so meaningful because you've been in their shoes for so long. I don't know how else to say it. Just stellar. Absolutely stellar. The month could not have started off any higher for me. Autumn War, so far my favorite of this series that I knew was going to make my best of all time list. And then book 3, and I just think, I think if I were to make a list of my favorite reads, most effective reads, I think Autumn War would have to be on it.
Well, so it sounds like the only direction to go from here was down. So what had to follow that?
Well, what had to follow that? Because I, like you, am trying to catch up before the big gala event.
Yes.
So I had a little bit of Sun Eater to do. I wanted to get to Dregs of Empire and Daughter of the Sword by Christopher Rocchio before I pick up Disquiet Gods. So it was time to read that novella and time to read that short story. And so worth the time here. Absolutely would recommend. Now, I haven't done all the short stories, but absolutely would recommend taking the time to do the novellas. Because as you were talking, now that you're getting into Kingdom of Death, you're starting to see, oh, you know what? These personalities around him. Hadrian Marlowe takes up so much space. He's so dramatic. He's yes. Grand. He's operatic. He's sweet. The man wears capes for the love of all. Yes. I mean, he takes up a lot of space. These novellas, you get to spend time with these characters and these egos and these personalities that are around him. And it just fleshes out everything. So then when you come back to one of the main installments and you're really following closely on Hadrian's coattails, these moments in the spotlight that these other characters get hit deeper. They mean more. So I absolutely would say try and find the time for the novellas at least. And Daughter of the Sword. Wow. Dregs of the Empire, my favorite novella so far out of the novellas I've read. So
of all of them.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. It's a little bit of of that old flick and that old book Papillon, a little bit of a like Edgar Rice Burroughs, John Carter of Mars feel to it, like a little high adventure, prison break, characters that you kind of love and don't quite know why, because like you say, you're so focused on Hadrian. Now you absolutely know why. And Daughter of the Empire, I'm just smitten with this character. I am so in love with this character. And the one thing I asked Christopher when we saw him last time was, I'm getting more of this character, right? Please tell me in Disquiet Gods. So I'm nothing more than that, but all in on that new character. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So loved the time with this. Had a great time with that. Always fun to go into Sun Eater. And after that, it was time for our indie read of the month. We do at least one indie book.
Oh, yes. And they are always linked in the descriptions. Whenever he talks about what it's about, if you're interested, go pick it up.
Absolutely. So this was A King in Waiting by Michael Cronk. This was book 3 of the Immortal Investigations. He brought out the first 3 of this series all at one time because, you know, he just has to work that hard, I guess. I'm glad he did, though, because the way books 1 and the way book 2 ended, I immediately, after I finished book 1, thought, you know what? I'm just going to read these 3 in 3 consecutive months. Because I usually put some time between. I didn't want to put any time between. Because this, if you're a fan of Harry Dresden, if you're a fan of Kevin Hearn's series, or, oh my gosh, pick your favorite urban fantasy series. Any of them. If you're a fan of that, chances are you're going to love this. This starts off with this character named Jason, who is going to start peeling back the layers of this world that do not run the way he thinks they run. His dream is to become a detective. He's in a small town in the English countryside, and he's gotten onto the police force. And as he's making strides to try and make his dream come true, he finds out how the world really works when his roommate asks him to be a chaperone on a date. And that date is not what anyone expected. And that starts him on this journey and starts him on this character progression and starts him on this wild romp into this world of an amazing alternate history that you get to start unearthing. Amazing characters, amazing lore, and very quickly by the end of book 1 into book 2, you start to realize this is not Jason's book alone. This is really a power couple story of Jason and Sylvana, and you're starting to now get all in and behind this relationship, and then that starts to matter to you. And then you start dealing with the themes of these lies that have lived expansively across human history, because we're dealing with, again, alternate history, immortals and magic and things of that nature. So you're starting to see the human experience stretched out and what that does and how generations change and how generations react to social mores and what that can mean to these beings that live so long in between. And then you start to layer in very interesting themes of past trauma and how we overcome that to build relationships and make our own way in the world and start to fill out our own dreams and make them come true along not just with ourselves, but someone else that we're sharing that space and time with. And you layer on top of all this case after case after case, 3 now in the Immortal Investigations, that each of these cases, you're like, I don't know if they're getting out of this. Like the deck is stacked too hard against them, but they keep expanding their found family. They keep expanding their friends. They keep expanding this amazing group of who you will think there's no way they can come out on top, but you can't help but root for them. And it's just quite an amazing bit of alchemy that he's stirred in so many different things into this potion and delivered it to you in this Immortal Investigations. If you're a fan of urban fantasy, if you're a fan of like I say, Dresden Files or Carrie Vaughn, or I could name 12. Give this a try. I really think this is going to be up your alley. This is really something fun. It's something special. I will say now that after these 3 and this world and me going on this journey and being all in with the relationship of Jason and Sylvana, when book 4 comes out, I think I'm going to be excited to grab it as quickly as I would be the next Dresden book. I mean, it's that level of fun. It is that level of fun that I felt was delivered So absolutely, I'd recommend. So let's put, I mean, there's 3 out. We'll put all 3 of them down there so you can check them out and look into them.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the author is also a booktuber, so subscribe to Cronk the Book Guy down below. He's awesome.
If you're here, you absolutely know Cronk the Book Guy. So
I also forgot to mention Ascendant Songs of Chaos Book 1 is also an indie book. So Michael R. Miller is fantastic, and this is so whimsical and fun. But pick that up in the description as well.
Absolutely.
Cozy Dragon Rider fantasy. You're going to love it.
After that, it was time for our Patreon book club read.
Oh, yes. And I think I actually do remember what this one was.
Take a shot.
All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy?
No. That was the month before.
I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I wish I had that button. This month was Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, this, I went in not knowing what to expect. And what I found when I went into this was, wow. As I kept reading it, I kept feeling like this really gives me the vibe of that Triwizarding tournament from Harry Potter. Like, I really feel like this is amazing instigating incident right off from the top. Like, from the top, like, you're all in because of what happens. Like, mind-blowing tragedy. Familial bonds ripped, and just, I mean, you were just into this world through the eyes of these people dealing with this instigating incident. And then we take a little bit of a jump, and we're coming back around from how this has shaken up the world and how it starts. And I don't want to give any spoilers because it was really, really cool. And then what we're dealing with is a little bit of a murder mystery, a little bit of a tournament, like a Triwizard tournament kind of thing, because in this world, as the Emperor steps down, a new one has to ascend. And there's like different houses, and there's the house of the dragon, the house of the fox, the house of the raven, the house of the, and each of them put forward a champion. And these champions all go at it, including duels, and each of the houses has a quest that they have to do or a test that they have to take. And it's all dependent upon that house and what their beliefs are is what the test will be. So then there's points scored for each duel and each test. And as you move forward, you're seeing who is becoming closest to becoming the next emperor as this emperor steps down after their years on the chair, right? So while that's going on, we have a bit of a murder mystery intermingled into this. And we start to find out that's not the only mystery that we're unraveling. Things are not as they seem in this kingdom. That instigating incident had way more layers than we initially thought. And things are coming to light that I did not see. That is the one thing I will give this book that I think was head and shoulders above all else. A lot of the times, and you'll back me up here, buddy, a lot of the times I can kind of see where the twist is coming. Like, I can kind of see what's happening.
Constantly.
And there was a moment here, it's like, nah, I think I got this figured out. I was close, but not quite. It was something entirely different. And from that point on, twist after twist, shoe after shoe that dropped, I was like, did not see that coming. Okay, that's awful cool. So it gave me that bit of surprise. I really loved the world. I really loved the houses. I really loved how Antonia Hodgson, was able to bring a bit of the lore through the House of the Raven, because they're kind of the House of the Scribes. So through these past stories, as the Raven is telling them, these past stories you're getting of history and lore, and then how that dovetails in with the story going forward and the characters going forward. There's an awful lot to like here. I absolutely do think when book 2 comes out, I will be picking it up. Some of the places that fell a little short for me, and we all talked about this in book club, was the world, as fantastical and amazing as it was, there was so many things that I found familiar that took me out of that fantasy setting. Like the time was told by the same way with bells. Spices had the same names. Animals had the same name. Flowers had the same name. Foods had the same names. And it's like, this is an awful lot of shorthand to let me know what's going on, as opposed to really throwing me into a new and fantastical environment. And that kind of took it out of me a little bit. The characters, I actually started to connect more to their houses and the animals that like, oh, she's the house of the ox. That's the fox. I didn't necessarily feel I got really deep into them personally. I got about as deep into what their houses stood for, and then I differentiated them from that. And I didn't quite feel like it went as deep characterization as I would have liked, because I wanted to know more about them. But there was an awful lot to like here. It was an awful fun read. If you're looking for something that will surprise you, I mean, I absolutely think that the surprises and the twist. This Antonia Hodgson, as we talked in book club, she is like, I believe, a British mystery writer. So a little bit of a different pace, a little bit of a different style. But when it comes to mystery and dropping these shoes at just the right time to have the most impact, and having the twist come and you did not see it, even though it might have been warranted and telegraphed, she absolutely, that is at her absolute strength. So if you're looking for something like that, this absolutely, some people say this is their fave read of the year. It's that kind of fun.
Oh, wow, man. I mean, for it to have twists and turns that you don't see coming is truly a feat.
Yeah. I totally agree. And there was some in this that is like, I just thought that character reacted really weirdly. But then when the twist came down the road, it's like, oh, wait a minute. And you have to reassess and put the whole thing together. So as far as structurally and the twist and how they're warranted and earned and come about, really grade A stuff, really fun, really fun. The tournament I found not quite as interesting. The characters I found is not quite as deep as I would have wanted and hoped. But where this ends up, I would absolutely be hard pressed not to pick up book 2 to see what comes next.
Yeah. Well, I believe it is the author's first time in that genre, right? So it's maybe somebody to follow at the very least.
Oh, I mean, if this is her first shot, like, future looks very bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, Antonia Hodgson.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then it was time for a trip back to Malazan.
Now, we talked already about how we're going to be brief here.
Yes. I'm going to do my best.
If you want to have John's uncut thoughts about Deadhouse Gates, he talked about it for quite a while on the last Weekly Reader.
Yeah. I will just kind of try and sum up here.
Yeah.
Book 2 of Malazan Book of the Fallen, Deadhouse Gates by Stephen Erickson. Really enjoyed Gardens of the Moon. Really was happy to come back to Malazan. And here's my truncated thoughts, my slimmed down thoughts, if you will. I was loving it. I was not having the problem that so many people have, like, oh, it's a whole different area, it's a whole different cast of characters. There is a lot of new characters here, but there are familiar faces, and it does pick up right from the end of Gardens of the Moon. We have some familiar faces that are basically trying to take one of our characters that we've come to know and love that has had a very hard time in book 1. They're trying to get her back to her father, but that's not all. They also have other agendas and other motivations. So they're moving through this area called Holy Desert, trying to get to her father. Then we also have the Chain of Dogs, which is like a military installation. We have Duker, a historian that is embedded in there. They're getting a new commander, Coltane. He is coming in. He was actually one of the rebellion until he came over to the side of the Empire, and now he's going to lead what comes to be known as the Chain of Dogs against the rebellion that he used to be a part of. That's going on in this area as well. Then we have a couple very mysterious figures in like this temple setting. Such a mystery of the temple itself and what it stands for and why they're there and where they come from and what their relationship is, and all of that becomes beautifully revealed as the book goes on. Again, in this area. Then you have this group of slaves in a chain that are going to be taken to a prison And you're following several different groups, and some of these groups become splintered off as their agendas change, and then some of these groups bump into each other as they're moving about this area. But I didn't have the problem of, oh, these are too many new people. I'm confused. I don't know, because at the heart of it, we did have our little band of brothers, our little group that we ended book one with. So they're in and amongst all these other groups trying to do what they want to do. And then as you meet these other groups, you come to care and know about them. And all of this is going as this empire spreads out further and further and further after this coup that happened at the beginning of book one. It's spreading out possibly too thin and too far, and this rebellion is coming up. And also, that's just what's happening on the physical plane. There's a whole metaphysical or spiritual level of characters going on with agendas and things happening as well, right? So a lot's going on, lots of characters. And I was really, again, blown away and enamored with the broad swings that Steven Erikson takes, the nightmare fuel that he's not afraid to throw in there, the pace that he comes with you at things that these groups have to overcome. Just one horrendous thing after another seems to befall them as they try to move through this area and get to their next agenda, or the agenda that they're working towards, oftentimes just to stay alive, right? So I was not feeling, I'm not quite feeling attachment to these characters, though. I'm interested, and I like their stories, and I want the mysteries solved, and this world is just unbelievably deep and layered, and the texture is off the chart. But I'm not feeling an emotional core to these characters, kind of like where I was for Gardens of the Moon. And then I'm saying I was right around 50%, maybe 55, 60%, and I had my epiphany of what this series is to me. And then everything started slotting into place. And then I was on that trek with the chain of dogs, step by brutal step, as I saw what we will do to each other as people and societies, and lines that get drawn there, and belief systems that draw those lines. And this goes beyond a story about these characters. This is the story of the world, and not just the world in this little window of time of this rebellion and this uprising in this holy desert. This is the story of this world in its entirety. From the time it was formed, to the time there was belief systems, to the time those belief systems fell out of favor, to the time where new belief systems sprang up. And how do those layer upon layer upon layer of belief systems come to pass? How do they interact with each other? How do they interact with the people? How do they use those people? How does all of the past being prologue set up exactly what's happening at this moment in this time with these people? And how do they fit into it? And how will they get out of it? And how will the ripples that they're causing cause further changes to this world going forward? So it is a singular reading experience for me that I don't think I've ever had. I'm not just following these characters. I'm learning about a true place with heft and history and unlimited time, eons and epochs and empires all being funneled down, that you're getting just the smallest slice of as you travel along with these characters at this time. And it's all kind of feeding through, and it's all feeding through that you get the entirety of the human experience elongated through the history and time of a world. It's the story of all of that. It's the story of all of us. It's the story of all of it. And once I understood that, it all started falling into place for me.
Wow. That was brief.
Was it?
No.
I did the best I could.
I know you did. That's the only reason I didn't stop you.
There's a lot. There's a lot
it's a big
here.
book, man. There's a lot to talk about.
Oh, man. Not only is it a big book, there are books this big in this genre that don't cover a tenth of what this is talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is truly special. There are 2 reads this month that are going to be on my all-time list. Like,
Well, let's get into it.
My all-time series list.
Now you have to pick a book of the month. It has to happen.
Not quite yet, because I had a little time left over.
You have more? Okay.
Yes. I also, after that, I wanted a little bit of fun, so I grabbed the next volume of One Piece. This is volume 19. Oh my gosh. Just real quickly, because I know we've gone so long, but I got a new favorite villain. Sir Crocodile, Mr. Zero. Oh, the diabolical nature of this plan that he has for Alabasta. I don't know how Princess Vivi is going to get out of this. I don't know how our group is going to... I don't know how they're coming out on top of this one. Baroque's works. This is truly the plan. It's not just my sword is bigger than your sword. It's not just what fruit I have, what power I have, the big smackdown that's coming. This is like some really cerebral, diabolical plans that are going on here. And I love it. I just think as a villain, he is unmatched so far in this series for me. It's so much fun. So far, Baroque Works Alabasta, the high point for me of this entire series.
Oh, the whole series. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only on volume 19, but I mean, this is really cool storytelling as far as what's going on here. Like it's really, really, and just, bizarre, weird, hysterical things as well. But this was exactly what I needed after Malazan. Great time.
Now, is there more? Oh, there's more. Okay.
There's more. I had a little bit of time, so I had grabbed this. This is The End of the World as We Know It. This is edited by, I believe, Brian King and Christopher Golden. These are short stories that take place in Stephen King's The Stand world. Now, The Stand is one of my all-time favorite books. Have a very, very soft spot. I've read not all of Stephen King, but the vast majority of it. This is one of my favorites. So I absolutely wanted to return to this world. And the beginning of this book, it kind of goes in stages. And the beginning of this book is when it's called Down with the Sickness. And it is when the superflu, Captain Trips, starts spreading across the world and the chaos that's ensued. So we're looking at that area of the story. So we're looking at small towns. We're looking at big inner cities. We're looking at Sin City, Vegas itself. And we're starting to see how this world of The Stand is going to be built one brick at a time as we move on. But really having a great time. I mean, this is 30 some odd authors, kind of like a who's who of horror fiction. Everybody wanted to come on board and have fun in Stephen King's sandbox. And this is going to be a lot. I just kind of work some short stories in between bigger reads and stuff, but I absolutely had to grab that and start that because I was very interested to see what was going to go on in that world that I love so well. And that's it.
Now you have to pick a book of the month.
Oh, man. Okay.
It sounds like it's between two.
So you know what's going on.
Yeah, it's got to be Deadhouse Gates and LPQ, right?
Yeah, these are two extreme heavyweights here.
Now, I notice you don't have a tie around.
I do not have a tie around because I am going to make a choice.
Uh-huh.
It's not an easy choice, but I'm not going to pull my hair out over it. I'm just going to make a choice here because
I think it's an obvious choice.
Okay, you tell me what you think.
It's the book that you said is one of your favorite books of all time now.
Yeah.
It has to be.
I think it has to be Autumn War. And let me tell you, one of the reasons why, again, I really think this is going to make my all-time favorite series list, but from talking to people in comments and getting and talking back and forth, apparently Memories of Ice, which is the next one, I think Memories of Ice, book 3, they say is even better than Deadhouse Gates.
Right.
So I don't think I'm at, like people are saying, oh, Deadhouse Gates is great. I would rate it kind of in the middle of Malazan. Like this hadn't hit the peaks of what it's going to hit. Whereas I think book 3 of LPQ, book 3 of Long Price Quartet, I don't know what's coming my way this month with The Price of Spring. I am hard pressed to imagine I have not hit the high point, the extreme high point of this series with Autumn War. It astounded me. I love the story, the tale of what price we will pay, how much of our humanity will give up to change nature, to change the world, to use magic. And this is the best I've ever read of that type of story. And that's why, look, I don't know if you've read this or not.
Me?
But you should.
Oh, okay.
You should. I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
I mean, I could understand why it's not for some people. I could understand why, oh my gosh, this is just two people talking, where I want some action. But wow, wait till book 3, you'll get action. Like love it so much. And that's why Autumn War, Long Price Quartet, Daniel Abraham is my book of the month.
Man, we say it every month, but I feel like more so this month. What a month.
I mean, August was crazy.
Yeah.
I stacked the deck in such a way, insane.
And you went to Worldcon this August.
And I went to Worldcon.
Yeah. And somehow still got all that reading done.
And somehow, it's not, I don't know how many pages that is.
Rose Scully will tell you.
Yeah, probably.
Top shelf reading.
This is top shelf. This is when you go into a bar and go, you know what? Special night, pour me that Pappy Van Winkle. Pour me that top shelf. That's what I felt like. That's what I felt like this month.
Absolutely calling this episode the Pappy Van Winkle of reading.
It was a Pappy kind of month. So, guys, what was your month like? Was it a Pappy month? Was it a Pappy month or was it just like, just like a every night kind of pour, like a regular type of pour? You let us know. You tell us, what was your book of the month? How did your month go? I hope it was filled with 5-star reads. Hit us up in comments. We're going to answer every comment that comes in as quickly as we possibly can, because that's the whole reason why we started this channel, was to talk to all of you about books and the kind of books that we all love. And you know what? That little thumbs up button, if you could hit that for us, I know sometimes you don't even think about it, but that helps us meet new people, and every new people we meet, that is a new perspective. That is a new beating heart, a new soul that takes a look at these stories and sees something entirely different than we see, each and every one of us, because we're all so different, and that makes us all richer and wiser, and that's why we're all here. And if you haven't hit that subscription button, maybe it's your first time, you've been a time or two, you haven't hit that subscription button, oh my gosh, this group of people that we get to hang out with on Discord and here and everywhere else and talk about story and what it means to us and how it makes us see the world and other people that we share the world with, the most amazing group of people I've month after month, astounded by how amazing this group of people is. And you can join them just with the click of a button. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You hit that button and you will feel a tingle right down to your toes. Promise you that. That's just a scientific fact.
It is indeed a scientific fact.
So I think that's, unless you got some words of wisdom.
Oh man, make sure to hit that subscribe button so nothing will happen. That's my wisdom. Why do you? I just don't understand. It does nothing quite happens. Nothing quite.
It does.
Really.
Everything
if you think
happens.
about it. If you really think about it.
If you think about it, you're joining a group of people that love story and see the world a certain way. You're saying, I am one of you. There's so much that happens when you hit that button. You know what? Zip it. Stop peeing in my Wheaties right now because I want a fresh bowl.
I'm gonna pee in your Wheaties so much that we're actually renaming this episode to Jacob Peas and John's Wheaties.
You know what? I prefer Pappy. I prefer the Pappy Van Winkle episode. I prefer the Pappy Van Winkle episode than Jacob Peas and my Wheaties. That's just my vote. Oh my gosh, if you're still here, first of all, why? And second of all, you're book people, and in our book, that makes you the best people. Thanks so much for joining us here on Talking Story.